Brenda.
Good evening. What a wonderful crowd we have for a wonderful evening ahead of us. So we are about to begin a journey, a joy of journey that many of these ringers behind me have participated in for quite some time. But even longer is a very special person who we will watch as our director tonight. He's a composer. Many of us that ring handbells and have handbell choirs have many pieces in our file cabinets with this wonderful gentleman's name on it, which is Kevin McChesney. Woo! A few months ago, a good friend of mine, Lisa Phillips, came to me and she said, "Hey, did you hear?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Kevin is retiring." I said, "What?" And so anyway, she told me that they were going to be doing, that Pike's Peak Ringers behind me and Forte behind them would be doing a couple of concerts in honor of his retirement. And she asked if we could possibly host a concert here, and I said, I would love that. We would love that. It's not about me, it's about we. And so anyway, I will not talk too much longer because we have so much wonderful music ahead of us tonight. And I would like to introduce you to Kevin McChesney.
and good night. For those of you who've been to our concerts before, that's the last time you have to hear that joke. What we're doing tonight is a celebration indeed. Yes, I'm retiring, and of course that's bittersweet. But what we're really doing is celebrating 30 years together as music makers and as family and as a tribe. And we're just delighted that you could share this with us and come along for the joy in the journey. A quick word of explanation of what's going to happen from here on in the concert, which is if you have a job like mine, you end up traveling around the country, meeting handbell people and befriending them and learning about them over the years. And I have some pretty tremendous friends because many of them are here tonight. And we have people here from Oregon and Connecticut and Washington and Tennessee and Oklahoma and on down the road. So a lot of them have been very gracious and have joined us in our celebration. And as you can tell from this announcement, I tend to kind of go on for a while when I talk. And if we're going to get everything in and be home by tomorrow, it's probably best that we hand over some of the speaking possibilities to someone else. And so you're going to be hearing from Rachel Cerullo in our other announcements. There she is dancing in the back. And you'll understand very quickly why those of us who know her call her Crazy Rachel. But she'll be a little more succinct, or maybe not, and we'll take you on this journey with us. Are you coming up now? Yeah, come on down, girl. Yep. So here she is. This is Rachel. Here we go.
So Kevin has fallen victim to one of the classic blunders, for anyone who's seen The Princess Bride, okay? Number one, never get involved in a land war in Asia. Yep.
Listen
Number two, hey, who has the microphone? Number two, never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line. And number three, never ever give Rachel a microphone. But I realize that my role here today is to move the concert along and not give Kevin a heart attack, so I shall do my best. I don't know how microphones work. You'll see me do this a lot, sorry. So thank you. The next piece was chosen for this program because it includes the hymn tune Of the Father's Love Begotten, which was Kevin's father's favorite hymn. So this is Change Ring Prelude on Divinum Mysterium by Fred Grayman. Do I take this with me? Okay.
You finish?
If they turn it off, then yeah. Well, they haven't. Kevin reaches me. Is it back on? So cool. This celebration of the journey of the Pikes Peak Ringers would not be complete without including their sister group, Forte. This quartet has been an offshoot of Pikes Peak Ringers for many years, with the focus of performing advanced small ensemble handbell music. This iteration of Forte decided to attempt something a little different. Instead of working only with published music meant for handbells, they wanted to try adapting a piano score, something. What's up? Anyone else? Okay, all right, whatever. Just trying to do something here. Something never ever intended to be played on handbells, and certainly not by only 4 people. Pikes Peak Ringers gave Forte a spot in one of their main season concerts just to see, so that they would have a chance just to see if this was even possible. It was. This piece was proof of concept for what became Forte's guiding force for their performances, Rethink Possible. Do they look done? Okay. This is All of Me by John Schmidt. The next piece in our program is very special because the composer is here in the room with us. No, not Kevin. His stuff comes later. No, I am talking about Matt Compton. That's all point and fun. Okay. Matt actually got his start in handbells right here in Colorado at First Lutheran Church in Colorado Springs under the direction of PPR member Joan Keene. He is also one of Kevin's former composition and conducting students. Matt, I don't know what you wanted to be initially when you grew up, but you didn't stand a chance. Matt is now the director of Bells of the Cascades, which is basically the PPR equivalent in Portland, Oregon. I wrote a lot about you. And he is a sought-after clinician at handbell events across the country. I think it's going to work out. This is Momentary by Matt Compton, featuring Keith Redpath on violin and Jenny Yop on cello. I'm all right. I'm going to go off script for just a second. I only have 2 chances to do this, so I'm kind of making notes of what works and what doesn't. I'm sorry, but you're helping me do it better tomorrow, and then that's the last chance I get. Perhaps roasting Matt right before this piece does not quite set the right tone. Because earlier, when I was listening to this piece for the first time, I'm in the back like, handbells, and I'm just like, phew. And then he goes, oh yeah, I wrote this during COVID. And then he pulls out his phone and pulls out the music, and the little space at the top was like, I wrote this during COVID. We felt like this was going to go on forever. We all felt very isolated. We all felt this way, but it's only momentary, and we will pick up where we left off and go on. And that's when I turned into a giant bucket of snot. And that's how I met Matt Compton. So tomorrow I think I will make fun of you, but then I'll kind of, just bring it in a little. So, but now that I've lightened the mood a bit, Disney! I shouldn't be doing this. According to Kevin, Disney music never misses. He says, quote, they always get it right. But if he had to pick one favorite, musically and thematically, it would be this one, which he says isn't just about working hard, but knowing your intrinsic value and worth as a person. This is Go the Distance from Disney's Hercules by Alan Menken and David Zippel, arranged by Valerie W. Stevenson. According to Kevin, the question he gets most often, or at least in the top 3, is, what's the story behind this piece? What inspired you? Where did this melody come from? And they sit back, eyes wide with wonder, awaiting enlightenment. And Kevin responds, I don't know, I just like it. And other people like it too. From The Mission, this is Gabriel's Oboe by Ennio Morricone, arranged by Kevin McChesney. At this moment, we would like to take a second to embarrass some more people. There are actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are 4 members of the group that were charter members. The original PPR peeps. I don't know. So we're going to call them out and embarrass them. Joan Keene, where are you? Way! Bonnie Linder! Lori Cox! And last but not least, the infinitesimally patient Tracy McChesney. Thank you for your service. Oh, what are we doing now? Oh, okay. When coming up with a title and design for the posters and the program, there was a real push to make sure that the word, quote, farewell was not used. Yes, we are celebrating Kevin's retirement. We are not putting him on a boat and floating him down the Colorado River on fire. Not today, anyways. But the other reason is because Pike's Peak Ringers aren't going anywhere. They are currently pursuing a new director and very much intend to continue their journey in making music. So this next piece, Angels from the Realms of Glory, was written specifically for Pike's Peak Ringers. I think they've actually commissioned several pieces. But this one in particular suits their unique style. And fun fact, this is apparently the only piece that the group specifically requested to play, or it's the only one Kevin let them pick. Depends on who you ask. This is Angels from the Realms of Glory by Henry T. Smart, arranged by Kevin McChesney. I don't have my notebook for this one because I'm actually not talking.
Gotta get out my phone. You knew it was gonna be me, don't be silly.
You have to hold the microphone.
I do. You didn't want to stand up here and hold it for me? All right, so when somebody retires, first of all, you have to invite some friends. So we did. And we'd like to welcome some of the members of the Atlanta Concert Ringers to the stage. Kevin was their director too. So we do that, and then we commission a piece, right? And of course, you've got to get somebody that knows Kevin well and would write something hard. So we got Matt Compton to do it, and I'm gonna read you. Yeah, Matt's gonna direct it for us too. But let me tell you what the inscription says. The dedication says. It says, for Kevin McChesney, from the Pike Ringers, the Atlanta Concert Ringers, and the Forte Handbell Quartet. Thanks for all the years of friendship, leadership, and great musical adventure. This was fun! He says that all the time. So we'll let Matt introduce the piece.
This is something that's been really exciting to work up and to have been invited and commissioned to write a piece in honor of someone who has touched so many of our lives, and my life personally, is a real incredible honor. And so the title of the piece is Nexus. And a nexus is a connecting point between two or more things. And I think if there's any word that I think exemplifies Kevin McChesney, it's that. Just from this ensemble here of Pike Ringers, Forte, Atlanta Concert Ringers, myself, but also for so many of us who have gotten to know Kevin through his music, personally through the festivals, the workshops, the just conversations we've had, the various interactions, I think there's this consistent connecting point. And music, I think, is the thing that connects humanity more than anything else, maybe besides love. Music is something that, regardless of whether you are a musician or not, we understand how music touches us and how it drives us to find connections. Two people that will be performing later, now I'm blinking on names, Megan and Reese, thank you. These two people actually ring and are members of a church that one of my former roommates from college directs, that Kevin got to meet at. So music is such a unifying thing, and so Kevin, thank you for everything that you have brought to the handbell community and to our lives. And so this is our gift of expression of love and gratitude to you. And so this is Nexus.
like you might be better at soliciting money from people right now.
Yes, as if anything could follow that, would you please give us money? End of announcement, more or less. Well, Matt, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much. So beautiful. Just can't believe it. And thank you all. For those who don't know, I didn't know that some of these people were coming. In case you hadn't worked that out. You know. And thank you. I love you guys. Thank you. We'll do more of that later. Now, we have to take care of business. The only people, usually what I say at this point is the only people who have paid to be here are the people on the stage, because that's usually how it works in a handbell concert. However, because we have so many out-of-town guests this weekend, that isn't quite exactly true this time around, but it's still more or less true. Handbells is really an avocation. The fact that I ever got paid to do it is sort of an anomaly, you know, that's just sort of happened. So, as you might imagine, there are expenses to what you see going on up here, and equipment and time and et cetera, on down the line, music and so on. So, some very nice, what's going to happen at this point is it probably says intermission in the program. I wasn't allowed to see the program because of it. But whether it does or not, this is our intermission. And what that means is this is our intermission. We're going to take a little break, and they're going to take a shower after that last after that last number, and then while we're resetting the stage is what we're really going to do. And while we're doing that, some very nice people are going to pass the plates, and we hope that in a post-COVID world you understand that the expenses have gotten even worse. So if you wouldn't mind giving generously to these wonderful organizations, we would love for you to do that. While I'm talking about that, they're going to go ahead and start on that, and you guys need to go ahead and take whatever break and do whatever you need to do. While I'm talking about that, this might be a good time to mention that if you've enjoyed the Forte experience and the Pike's Big Ringer experience, we have recordings and so on, and you can take that experience home with you, so we hope that you'll check the merchandise tables. When this has happened, you really do get a few minutes off, and then we'll call you all back, and it'll be the second half of Joy in the Journey. Thank you, everybody.